Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Amma ba'd. Those brothers and sisters um, that will be watching us online, we humbly request you to kindly subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for future notifications, and do like the video and share it with your family members, friends and relatives, and hope we all can benefit, inshallah. Once again, we're here for our session of from the beautiful book of our beautiful Hazrat Damat Barakatuhum, Adab Ba Naseeb. So we'll continue from where we left off yesterday without going into much detail. So quickly, the past 2 days what we have been studying. So everybody, mashallah, seated knows the meaning and knows what has some idea what adab is, right? And what's the importance of adab, right? What's the etiquettes of dealing as to when it comes to our behavior with other Muslim fellow brothers and sisters, whether Muslims or non-Muslim. How are we going to treat them? And in uh, especially with our parents, teachers, and our elders, how are we going to approach them? How will we, how is our behavior and attitude with them going to be? So we learned that adab is really important to have in our life. Without adab, a person is nothing. That was the gist of what we studied. And there were two ahadith that we studied. One was أدبني ربي فأحسن تأديبي فأحسن تأديبا أو كما قال. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, my Lord Allah Ta'ala taught me adab, and he disciplined me and he taught me very well, mashallah. And we studied that adab is a means of creating beauty in our actions, right? It brings beauty in our actions. अदब आमाल को मुज़य्यन करता है, और आमाल में जीनत इख्तियार करना और वैसे ही जीनत इख्तियार करना, खूबसूरत बनना, प्रेजेंटेबल लगना, इससे भी पता चलता है। यानी बंदा ऐसे ना आए कि बंदा दूसरा खौफिया जाए। अब हम जब पढ़ रहे थे, साथिज़ा ने भी बताया, बड़ों से हमेशा सुनते आए कि आप अपने आप को ऐसा ड्रेस करें सुन्नत के दायरे के अंदर रहते हुए, जो शरीयत की जहाँ तक हुदूद कुयूद है उनको अपनाएं, जो शरीयत ने इजाज़तें दी हैं उनको अपनाएं, और बिल्कुल प्रेजेंटेबल लगे, ताकि अगले को भी एक जो है उसके अंदर एक ये ख्वाहिश पैदा हो कि मैं भी अपने आप को सुन्नत से मुज़य्यन करूं, मैं भी खूबसूरत लगूं और आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम जैसा लगूं। और हम जब हमारी जो है हमारे आमाल और हमारा किरदार आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम जैसा होगा, तो हम अल्लाह ताला को महबूब जो है पसंद आ जाएंगे। और हदीस मुबारक थी, इन्नल्लाह जमीलुन युहिब्बुल जमाल। Everybody remember this hadith? No? Yes? No? And what was the translation of the hadith? जी हज़रत मौलाना soon to be मौलाना हाफिज़ आदिल साहब. You don't know, mashallah. जी हज़रत soon to be हाफिज़ साले साहब. जी इन्नल्लाह जमीलुन युहिब्बुल जमाल. Allah Ta'ala is beautiful and He loves beauty. And subhanallah, Hazrat Damat Barakatuhum coupled this hadith with a verse of the Holy Quran. What was that? Hassan Sahib remembers. जी لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. And in Surah Al-Kahf, Allah Ta'ala said, لِنَبْلُوَهُمْ أَيُّهُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. Was that Allah Ta'ala, one of the purpose of our lives, right? What is one purpose of our life? to create beauty. भाई इबादत तो पिछले 3 दिन से वही जवाब सुन रहे हो जो मैंने जवाब बताया उसको भी बोले ना कि अल्लाह ताला one of the purpose, one of the reason why we have been granted this life is what? So Allah Ta'ala can see and test us that who amongst us is beautiful in our actions, whose actions are more beautiful. You know, one person donated $1,000 to the masjid. You can donate 15,000. I mean 1,500. You can donate 2,000. No problem. One brother donated 4,000. You can donate 7,000, inshallah. So likewise, you know, Allah wants to see who is beautiful in actions. Acha, that person, acha, he's prayed tahajjud and he's prayed salah. Inshallah, you know what? Not, you shouldn't be jealous of him. They say, he did this. If he can do it, I can do it too. You know what? I'm going to pray more, inshallah. He prayed arakat tahajjud and he prayed salatul tasbih. I'm going to, you know, not tahajjud. Besides, I'm going to pray more nawafil. I'm going to spend more, I'm going to lengthen my recitation. ठीक है ना? And yesterday, we read some aqwal, we read some quotations of our akabirin, and we had quoted only one of our akabirin. हमने सिर्फ एक अकाबिर, एक बुजुर्ग का, बुजुर्गों के भी बुजुर्ग, उनका हमने एक फरमान पढ़ा था अदब के बारे में. Who remembers that? I shared a quotation of this very big, because if I tell you what his status is, then everybody's going to find out. And I want to see who is paying attention in class. That he's leader of all the awliya and the ulama. That's all I can say. Yes, Brother Adil. Hazrat Muaz Sahab. जी फात साहब बताएं. फरकान आप जी वो भी पढ़ा था. एक और हमने एक कोटेशन पढ़ी थी, वो तो वाक़या था. कोटेशन ये पढ़ी थी सैयदना उमर रज़ी अल्लाहु अन्हु. Sayyidina Umar sounds familiar, right? The second Khalifa, yes, father-in-law of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu anhu used to say what? पहले अदब सीखो फिर इल्म सीखो, कुरान और हदीस का इल्म हासिल करो. और अबू जी दामत बरकातुहुम ने आप हजरात को परसों क्या वाक़या सुनाया था. एक बहुत बड़े बुज़ुर्ग इमाम हस्ती गुजरे हैं, उनका भी अगर मैंने स्टेटस बता दिया तो आप लोगों को पता चल जाएगा. मैं देखना चाहता हूँ कि ज़्यादा फोकस कौन कर रहा था. एक बहुत, वो भी इमामों के भी इमाम, उन्होंने जब दीन का इल्म हासिल करना चाहा तो उनकी वालदा ने पहले उनको क्या फरमाया. मैंने सारी बात ही आपको बता दी है जी. हाँ जी, माशाल्लाह. इमाम मालिक रहमतुल्लाह अलैह ने गालिबन अपनी वालदा को बोला कि अम्मा जान मैं दीन का इल्म हासिल करना चाहता हूँ. या जब उनकी उम्र हो गई तो वालदा ने पहले उनको इमाम रबिया के पास, या एक बहुत बड़े मुहद्दिस जो थे वक्त के, उनके पास भेजा. कहा बेटा पहले उनके पास जाओ और अदब सीखो, फिर जाके इल्म हासिल करना. और आप हजरात को बताया गया था, और जो हजरात देख रहे हैं, कि अल्लाह रब्बुल इज़्ज़त का कुर्ब पाने के लिए भी चंद ज़ीने उलमा ने लिखे, मशाइख ने लिखे, और उनमें से सबसे पहला क्या है? अदब. और हमने एक और चीज़ पढ़ी थी कि जब अदब होगा तो फिर क्या हासिल होगा? जी इब्रार भाई, इल्म नाफ़िअ. क्या हासिल होगा हमें? जब अदब होगा तो हमें क्या हासिल होगा? इल्म नाफ़िअ. व्हाट इज़ इल्म नाफ़िअ? जी यस जी बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. That ilm of Quran and Hadith, a lot of time, see brothers, we come, we attend, mashallah, it's a very good thing. We go into the suhbah of our shaykh, we go into the suhbah of our teacher. We, on weekly basis, we attend his company, his majlis zikr, we come to Jummah bayanat, and there's, mashallah, Quran classes we're taking. But if we haven't been making amal upon it a lot, then this is a sign that abhi tak ilm nafi hasil nahi hoga. वो इल्म नाफिक कब बनेगा? वो जो इल्म, that knowledge that we are seeking, when is it become beneficial knowledge? When we will act upon it. And what did Hazrat Ji Damat Barakatuhum say? What was his experience? जी हज़रत मुआज़ साहब, हमारे हज़रत जी दामत बरकातुहूम जिनकी किताब हम पढ़ रहे हैं, उन्होंने क्या फरमाया था कि उन अपनी ज़िंदगी में किन बुज़ुर्ग की सोहबत इख्तियार की और उन्होंने इल्म नाफे के बारे में कुछ बात अर्ज़ की थी। जी मुआज़ साहब, बात साहब आपको याद है? जी, that was true, but there's another one. चले उनके शेख के बारे में बताएं, गुलाम हबीब रहमतुल्लाह अलैह। माशाअल्लाह, that was one. The other one was that Hazrat Ji Damat Barakatuhum said that he had the privilege and honor of accompanying who? Mufti Shafi Sahib rahmatullah alayhi. We need to learn these names, right? These are very blessed names. Mufti Shafi, Mufti Muhammad Shafi Uthmani. Say it, Mufti Muhammad rahmatullah alayhi. Easy to remember, is the author of Ma'arif al-Quran, the famous tafsir. And the father of who? Mufti Taqi Usmani Sahab. Who is Mufti Taqi Usmani Sahab? Is a scholar who passed away, right? He's alive. And he's known as Sheikhul Islam in Pakistan, right? So he's his honorable father, and Hazrat Damat Barakatum said we accompanied him, and he asked the students and everything. And what did he say? इल्म नाफे वो अमल होता है जिसके हासिल करने के बाद बंदे को अमल उस पर किए बगैर चैन ना आए. इल्म नाफे is that knowledge, beneficial knowledge. The definition given by Mufti Shafi Sahib rahmatullah alayh is that once it has been acquired or achieved, a person cannot live without making amal upon it. Okay? Now, let's read some more quotations about adab. Sayyidina Hazrat Abu Abdullah rahmatullah alayh, he used to say, आदाब नफ्स का हासिल करना इल्म के हुसूल से ज़्यादा अहम है. That acquiring adab, having adab in life is more important than seeking knowledge. Because we will not even respect the knowledge until we have respect. So respect is very important. Or Hazrat, there was a very great Sheikh, Hazrat Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullah alayhi, everybody knows. He used to say, बेअदब खालिक व मखलूक दोनों का मग़ज़ूब होता है. A person who is disrespectful is disliked by everyone. He's not going to be in the hearts of everyone. Because, oh man, this guy is very disrespectful, man. Yeah, mashallah, he's talented. He has everything. He reads nice Quran, mashallah. He has a lot of knowledge. But no, man, I don't want to. He's too disrespectful. Yeah, inshallah. Yeah, assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam. Then people will not like to get along with you, will like to sit with you. So it's very important that how can we make ourselves beautiful when we studied? It's by respect. So it's really important that we have respect. And subhanallah, speaking of Hazrat Damat Barakatuhum, that his Shaykh rahmatullah alayh had asked him, how did I acquire this knowledge of tafsir? And what was the answer that Hafiz Saleh Sahib just shared with us is that? He said, I never visited my Shaykh. मैंने अपने शेख की ज़ियारत नहीं की थी कभी, और मैंने बैतुल्ला को कभी बेवुज़ू नहीं देखा और अपने शेख को नहीं देखा. तो अल्लाह रब्बुल इज़्ज़त ने इस अदब की वजह से मुझे कुरान की तफसीर का वो इल्म अता किया कि सुभान अल्लाह, कि उलमा बड़े बड़े कहते थे कि इल्म लदुन्नी है हज़रत के पास, वो नॉलेज जो अल्लाह ताला ने बंदे को दिया हो, अल्लाह ताला बंदे पे इंकिशाफ फरमा देते हैं, इजहार फरमा देते हैं. इसी तरह there is a very great pious predecessor of ours, okay? One of our great pious predecessor, right? One of our kabirin, one of our elders. His name was Mufti Kifayatullah Sahib rahmatullah alayh. What was his name? Mufti Kifayatullah. He was a very great alim. So once he was teaching his students, and he asked, he said, "Ha bhai, there was another great scholar." They were speaking about another great scholar. Mufti Kifayatullah Sahib is already one of our great scholars, so we're going to remember that name. He was mentioning another great scholar, and his name was Anwar Shah Kashmiri rahmatullah alayh. We're going to remember this name, very, very beautiful name. Anwar Shah Kashmiri rahmatullah alayh, who was the main sabab and a great means of the protection of the iman of Allama Iqbal rahmatullah alayh. Subhanallah. So, and Anwar Shah Kashmiri rahmatullah alayh, Allah Ta'ala had granted him a photographic memory. So speaking of Anwar Shah Kashmiri rahmatullah alayh, another thing came in my mind. I'll share it with you brothers. Anwar Shah Kashmiri rahmatullah alayh, Allah Ta'ala ने जहानत ऐसी अता की थी कि कोई चीज़ पढ़ते याद हो जाती और जितना भी अरसा गुजर गया होता हज़रत कुछ भूलती नहीं थी। उनके बारे में एक वाक़या मशहूर है. Here's a story. Everybody understands Urdu? Yeah, brothers. So there's a very great story that's famous about him, and it's written in the books. We just have a few minutes left, so I think I'm only going to have a chance to mention this story. So I believe in Egypt, long story short, there is a book that the scholars of ulama, the scholars of Darul Deoband wanted to have a copy of, or wanted that book to be included in their library, okay? In their syllabus that they were teaching and everything. It was a very great, I think, fiqh book. So they contacted and they connected to the ulama of Misr, Egypt. So they said that we wanted, they said, no, 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 we can't give this book. So well, if we can get a photocopy, he's like, no, we're not going to give you a photo. We're not going to let you make a photocopy of this too. So they're like, what is it? So the ulama, the big ulama of the Ulum Deoband, so they decided, what should we do? They said, okay, you know what? Anwar Shah Kashmiri rahmatullah alayhi को भेजते हैं तो ये पढ़ लेते हैं जो कुछ इनके जहन में होगा वो फिर हमें आगे हम उससे मुस्तफ़ीद हो जाएंगे वो benefit from it. तो उन्होंने कहा कि भाई ठीक है हम अपना आदमी एक भेज रहे हैं अपने एक आलिम है we're sending one of our scholar so he's gonna come and he's gonna look at the book. Can he read the book? Yeah, you can read the book, but you're not allowed to make a photocopy of it. So when he went there, long story short, they gave him he reached there in Egypt and everything. So he came to the library, he started reading the book, and the book was very thick. It wasn't like, 100 pages book maybe. It was a lot. It was and it was consistent. It's a fiqh book at the end of the day. So many aqwal, so many ulama, so many names of different muhaddithin, a'imma. So, and he only had 1 or 2 days over there in Misr, and he was going to return back to India. So Hazrat started reading the book, and he read it once. He completed it once. He came back, and he wrote the same book, minwan, letter to letter. He did not even miss a single letter from that book that he had read over there. When he wrote this, and they contacted the ulama of Egypt, our scholar that visited you guys, he read the book, so we want to see if everything is right, if there is any correction to be made. They're like, okay. So when they did it, they saw that everything was same as the original copy. I'm like, what is this? So their great scholar was forced to say, their great scholar was so amazed that he was forced to say, Ma ra'aytu ba'da Imam al-Bukhari mithla Anwar Shah Kashmiri. कि मैंने अपनी ज़िंदगी में वो मजबूर हो गए ये बात कहने पे. इमाम बुखारी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह कौन थे? अभी एक अलग एक कहानी है, वो कल आपको बताएंगे. इमाम बुखारी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह को अल्लाह ताला ने ऐसा हावज़ा अता किया था कि नाकाबिल बयान. तो वो उनके जो बड़े आलिम थे मिस्र के, वो ये कहने पे मजबूर हो गए कि मैंने अपनी ज़िंदगी में, मैंने अपने तजर्बे में जितनी उलमा की किताबें पढ़ी वगैरह वगैरह, मैंने अपनी ज़िंदगी में इमाम बुखारी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह के बाद अनवर शाह कश्मीरी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह जैसा तेज़ हाफ़ज़े वाला शख्स मैंने नहीं देखा. So this is our great scholar. So I was going to mention something about Anwar Shah Kashmiri rahmatullah alayh that Mufti Kifayatullah Sahib had asked, that how did he get the status by Allah Ta'ala? So that inshallah to be continued, we'll mention it tomorrow inshallah. ठीक है? So until next time, may Allah Ta'ala give me the tawfiq and all of us the tawfiq to have adab, to acquire adab and be respectful in our lives and treat our parents, all the brothers that are watching, especially the youngsters. If our parents are alive, please benefit from them, love them, and be very respectful towards them, so Allah Ta'ala can make our dunya beautiful as well as akhirah. May Allah give me the tawfiq and all of His tawfiq. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Until next time, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.